Now I'm with a really spectacular girl today called Butterscotch. She arrived on Friday. She probably doesn't look too bad to you now, but my God, did this girl come in a really bad state. We found her in a local temple. I was down there doing a sterilising day and I spotted her out of the corner of my eye. She didn't look terrible at first. I thought it was just going to be a quick groom, but my God, has this girl been suffering an awful lot. She's called Butterscotch. She's got a very bright future, and I've got some really good news for her at the end of the video as well, which is going to change her life completely. But I want to just sit with her and explain her story, because this is a really special dog and she deserves the world. When you see what she's been through, you're going to be shuddering. I couldn't believe it after we groomed her and what we found, but this is Butterscotch's story. Oh, you're doing well, aren't you, Butterscotch? You're starting to look a lot better, aren't you, madam? Now, I'm out here with Butterscotch. She's an incredible dog. I'm going to tell you her story now. And she's about 3 days into her recovery. She's really struggling. She's quite sick. We found her in a temple, and at first I didn't actually think she was that bad. She definitely needed grooming. So I was sort of looking at her and I was thinking, okay, let's call Valeria to come and do the grooming. And I was like, we'll do it in a few days' time. It's not that serious. We see dogs like her all the time. But I went over with a piece of ham, and the dogs love the ham, and she took the first piece of ham but she didn't really eat it, and then I offered her a second and she just sort of refused it, and that to me was a huge warning sign, wasn't it, Butterscotch? Oh, mister, you're in agony. You're in agony, mister. Now, one thing that would help us massively is if you subscribed. Myself and Butterscotch would be absolutely delighted if you did, because it spreads the word about street dogs and it helps us raise awareness. So a little subscribe or a like or a comment or any sort of interaction really would be very much appreciated from myself and Butterscotch. Look at you. We're going to make you look fantastic. Look at your eyes, mister. It was only when I looked at her closer that you could see all the fleas and ticks on her head, and I mean there were thousands. Look at your poor skin, it's falling out, mister. You're crawling in fleas, mister. I mean, when I say there's 1,000, there could be 10,000. You can see in the little videos that we'll put in here, she really was just in absolute agony, and that's why she wasn't eating the ham, because it was so much pain. So we're very lucky that it was right beside a clinic that we run with Soy Dog, and we were able to sedate her, which means, you know, like put her under general anesthetic. Is that what it is? I mean, I should know these things, but I don't do the operations. But yeah, she was, you know, put down for an operation really, so where we could groom her properly. And it was only then, once we groomed her, my God, like you'll see from the little clips, she had like 100 red, like bright red agony like little spots on her, and it was really sad to see. She was obviously, she'd been grinning and bearing it for, you know, for quite a while. You can also see that her eyes are really infected. So she's got blood parasites, which is quite common. The blood parasites come from the dogs, or from the little animals that were biting her. She's got a little bit of anemia. Her blood results are not fantastic. But the first thing we did was just get her in here after the grooming. Normally we would groom a dog and, you know, put them back, but she obviously needed an awful lot of help. But I've never met a dog with a nicer nature. She's just so nice and friendly, and she's got a bandana on her now. But I mean, if you look at her skin, it's really not fantastic. So she's going to be on a 6-week treatment here. We're going to make her look beautiful, because even though looks doesn't matter for a street dog, their health matters. I always think that look good, you feel good. So she's got her bandana on, and she's really sleeping a lot at the moment. She's in her kennel and she is just getting an awful lot of rest. She loves being touched and held. The story, as always, don't really know, but a couple of the local Thai people spoke to some feeders. So there was a woman who feeds her, but the owners had just left her apparently. So Butterscotch was out there on the streets, and you can see the sweat dripping down my nose. Like, imagine how much pain she was in with all that fur and all those animals under her. But the future for Butterscotch is going to be bright. We're going to get her better. Her groom, I wouldn't say is, you know, it's not going to win Crufts dog awards. We just had to you know, get the fur off her as much as possible. But she's got a lovely smile. She's not actually that old. You can see her teeth. They're young teeth. She's maybe 2 or 3. And once she starts feeling a bit stronger and her fur grows back, and we introduce her to some friends, because at the moment really she is just sleeping and eating. Her body, I've seen this so many times, her body is kind of collapsed a bit, you know. Once they're on the street and they're in fight or flight mode, they can really survive very, very well. But once they know that they can relax. She doesn't have to fight for food. She doesn't have to you know, find a safe place to sleep. And crucially, all those animals are not eating her anymore. So once all that's gone, often what happens is her little body will relax and she gets more sick. So she's got all her tablets. Her blood tests have been done. She's very, very beautiful girl. And I've already decided, Zoe does the adoptions and we normally have a process, but there's no way this girl is going back on the street. We're going to put her up for adoption because she's just so gentle and kind, and she's had such a tough time with living on her own on the street. So breaking news, I just kind of decided it right there and then that, you know, little Coco, that's not Coco, this is Butterscotch. I have so many names in my head. Butterscotch is never going to go back on the street. She's a real little darling. She's going to be a stunner as well once her fur grows back and she gets nice and clean. You can actually see there's like little dead, those are flies and stuff. We've been trying to wash them out for 2-3 days, but they're kind of like grown into the fur. It's horrendous what she was going through. But yeah, a wonderful day for Butterscotch. I'm not going to keep her out here much longer because she needs more rest, a lot of rest, 2-3 weeks of rest, and she'll be a wonderful dog. So from myself and Coconut, who is never going back on the streets, what a wonderful day.